Badge 16 of the Weatherization Installer Badges series demonstrates how to install or repair a vapor retarder in a crawlspace. This video provides additional approaches to Badge 16 using materials and methods typical to Climate Zone 6, 7, and 8. Properly sealing off soils with a vapor retarder is especially important in cold climates, as soils release moisture that can enter the living space and increase condensation on cool or cold surfaces. 1. Install vapor retarder around pads and footings. While code only requires a minimum of 6 mil polyethylene sheeting as the ground vapor retarder, this sheeting is easily damaged by foot traffic, as seen here. Consider instead 10 mil or thicker polyethylene sheeting, or reinforced sheeting such as Durascrim. An extra layer of sheeting or a vinyl runner can provide additional protection for trafficked areas. The vapor retarder should closely follow the contour of bearing pads and footings such that adequate material exists to prevent the membrane from pulling away from the concrete if it is stepped on, as seen here. This is important even when confronting unusual geometry in footings, pads, and other bearing areas, which is far from uncommon in Alaskan structures. For best results, first install separate sections of vapor retarder around bearing pads and footings to avoid bunching, wrinkles, and other problems. Here, we first install and trim a section of vapor retarder around the edge of a pad. Next, we install additional sections of vapor retarder to transition from the ground vapor retarder at least 6 inches up the column. We seal the vapor retarder with Tremco acoustical sealant and tape overlaps and seams with 3M 8087CW cold weather construction seaming tape, both of which are effective and widely available in Alaska. To seal vapor retarder overlaps, use a 3/8 inch minimum bead of sealant and press in overlapping layers by hand. After sealing, tape all exposed edges of the vapor retarder so flaps cannot be accidentally lifted by foot traffic. Here, we also secure the top edge of the vapor retarder to the column with 3M 8067 flashing tape, which helps ensure the acoustical sealant maintains its seal long term. 2. Install vapor retarder along walls. Cut a transition vapor retarder to extend at least 6 inches up the foundation wall and to provide at least 6 inches of overlap with the ground vapor retarder. Snapping a chalk line at the 7-inch mark on the wall ensures the vapor retarder goes on straight and provides a sight line to install sealant. We use Tremco to seal the vapor retarder to the foundation wall, and we secure it with fasteners. The type of fastener depends on whether and how the foundation will be insulated. Here, we work with a bare wall that will later be covered in foam board insulation. We drill 1/4 inch holes every 2 feet and insert 1/4 inch plastic foundation pins, which sit flush and won't interfere with the foam board. Seal and tape the transition vapor retarder to the ground vapor retarder. Installing this separate vapor retarder along the wall makes it easier to position the vapor retarder snugly over the footing and up the wall, as opposed to using one continuous sheet, which often makes it difficult to tightly follow footing and wall edges. Please note that the initial builders of this home left excess concrete on top of the footing, creating an uneven surface and making it impossible to tightly install the vapor retarder. Normally, the transition vapor retarder should closely follow the wall contours, as seen on this footing.